Alrighty, looks like it's time. Let's go. Hello! I've got a few things to do today, but honestly maybe less than usual. So we'll see how long the stream is, probably normal length, because I got a few things I need to grab. So I'll run through everything. I actually remembered to clean my mixing cup before starting to stream today. It's a first. When does this happen? Who is this person streaming? Do I have a... I'm wondering where the, here it is. That's what I mixed that in before. Let me walk through the plan for today. So I do have a plan. I've got some commission stuff I'm finishing up, like this Diamond D10. And then, well, actually, I'm just gonna be doing, kind of starting that. I also have this trade that I really want to finish, so we're gonna actually put aside enough resin to finish this today, which is just gonna be dirt-colored resin. And I had a couple of dice that, oh, my ear's doing a weird thing, that had spots in them, and I'm gonna fill those in, fix those, and then. Continuing on with the planet-themed dice, the solar system-themed dice, I am going to make a set for planet Earth. Although, really, I'm going to be doing the first part of them because I'm going to be doing blanks. Because the plan is I'm going to do... Oh, my ear's doing a weird thing. Anyways, I'm going to do, like a dark blue resin, I think maybe kind of opaque, and then do some like plants in there, some green and some kind of like neutral tone plants in the blanks, and then I'm going to take those blanks and put them into the dice molds after they've cured with some like white, cloudy white resin that will kind of be swirled around it, sort of like clouds. I thought that'd be kind of cool. Oh. Yeah, we'll see how long I stream today. I have like a little bit of a sore throat and my ear's doing a funky thing. It's like when I talk, like it makes noise in my ear. It's very strange. It's very strange. So let's see, what all do I need? I need to attach these little tiny mushrooms that I've made into these molds. I need to find plants for the earth dice, and I need to put all of my pigments into the mixing cups, and I think that's it. So first, let's maybe attach these mushrooms. I think I'm going to use some UV resin. Let me just grab that. Something just fell down, but I don't know what it was. So let's see if we can attach these with some UV resin. Obviously, these molds aren't the best for UV resin since they're not translucent, but I think we can get enough light in there to just kind of tack things in place. So I think it'll be fine. I was like, where did I set my tweezers? Let's see if I can... Ah, nope, that's all cured. Might not even need that. I might have enough in here. I've got little tiny mushrooms. I'm just gonna dip them in a little bit of UV resin and then try to stick them in here. No, not cat hair. Not the cat hair, I just need the mushrooms. So let's see if I can have a steady enough hand here to hold these in place while I'm trying to nope, I don't have a steady enough hand to hold these in place while I... This is the problem, is that I can't actually get hold things in place while I'm trying to glue them in place, because I just don't have steady enough hands for it. Things just slip around. It's very frustrating. Let's try this again. See if there's a way I can rest my hand on something that might help. I don't know why I have music stuck in my head. I guess that's normal for me though. I didn't get that quite centered. Don't know how I feel about that. It's not quite centered. I can still kind of move it a bit. Oops. Oops. Not quite what I was going for. Just a second here, let me try that one more time. See if I can get it a little bit more centered. Once I get, you know, the actual resin in there surrounding it, it'll be held in place by that, but I want it to stay upright. Do want it to stay upright. Let me just do this right in front of me. Ah! Oh, there we go. There we go, I got it centered. Let's let that go for a second. I want it to stay centered. I do have one more to do. I'm doing 2 different D4s here. There is cat hair in my tea. Got it, I think. So I think, yeah, I've got that. And then I think we'll find some plants for the, we'll find plants for the earth dice, and we'll be all set to get our pigments figured out. Man, I feel like it's been pretty quiet recently. Let me do this again where I get rid of those, because I think those were getting in my way. I just can't hold things steady. I just can't hold things steady. My hands are too wobbly for this. It's not like I have like a tremor or anything, but I don't have steady hands, which I guess maybe seems a little bit odd considering the scale at which I work on things, but I really don't have steady hands. Let's do that. I'm going to put this one back under as well. Could use a little bit more light. It's not going to hurt anything. I'm put my UV resin away. Put our lamp away once we're done with that. Alright, and then we're going to want to find plants. So I have some plants already that we can start looking through. I want to go for, you know, kind of neutral plants like greens and beiges and maybe a little bit of orange, partially because I'm trying to kind of match colors that are very earthy. Like, if you ever look at like a picture of Earth from space, it's a lot of, you know, there's lots of blue, obviously, but also lots of like greens and like sandy colors. So let me see what I got. I have some stuff sitting off to the side here, but we might pull out some other things. So I think like some of these like leaves would be good. Oops, a different leaf just go flying. But I'm probably not going to do like purple. Maybe some of that. I want to go for, like I said, kind of some of the neutral tones. Could do a little bit of yellow. I don't think I want to do too much yellow. These have a little bit of pink to them, but they're mostly kind of an orangish color. They might be a little bit big though. I think I'm probably going to do mostly like leaves. Mostly leaves and things. There's a seed pod of something. But I do have some green flowers that I think would work well. I do have some green flowers. Let me grab some of those. Oh, here's some other. I think these are rose leaves. Yeah. I think I have some other leaves too, actually, that I want to pull out. So let me grab those green flowers. They're not really green flowers. They were really purple flowers, but like the center of them, once all of the actual petals fell off, they kind of look like little green flowers. They look like little green flowers, and I feel like those would work really well for this. They were kind of what I had in mind when I started with this idea. I was just like, I should do, you know, earthy tones with florals in them, and I'm like, oh, I could use those green flowers that I have. Because those would match the green colors that I'm looking for. Green and earthy colors. And still be like a flower. So I'm going to grab a few of those. And actually here I'm going to grab a few of the little tiny leaves as well. And then I have this box here. Hi Nerd Holla, how you doing? How you doing? I'm figuring out plants at the moment for a set of dice. Thinking maybe some of these leaves. I'm going for kind of like greens and beiges, and then they're going to be with a dark blue. I have a few of the little tiny ones. But hello, how are you doing? It's been just enjoying a relaxing day at home. That's nice. Getting ready for a raid train stream later. Is that where like one person streams and then they raid a different person who starts streaming type thing? Like I've never raided anybody. I'm really bad about that. But also I don't know, I do more streaming than I watch streaming. I think those are good. There's a few of those. All day thing, part of a group. Oh, that's cool. That's really fun. Because then 12 people streaming. Oh, wow. I know, that's really fun. That'd be a fun way to kind of like, you know, find new people to watch and stuff too. If you hang out for the whole, if you watch one person in that group and then, you know, they raid someone else, you just keep going. Let's go. I don't yeah. Are you all doing kind of like similar things, or are you all doing completely different things? Like, are you all doing arts and crafts, or like certain all art? Oh, okay, cool. Very cool. What are you, if you don't mind spoiling, what are you planning on working on? Have any fun plans for that? I'm gonna figure out which one these are gonna go in, I think. Just kind of roughly. Oh, cool. Man, I should get back into mini painting. It's really fun. It's been a while since I've painted any minis, but I don't know, I enjoy it. I know I just got done saying that I don't have a steady hand at all, but it is fun painting minis. I don't know, painting minis is just relaxing, I feel like. Like, I don't know. And to be fair, I guess I find painting relaxing. Painting's one of my favorite things. I actually said, I've said before at one point, not necessarily on stream, but like in real life, that I don't think these are going to work well. I think these have too much air in them, which is unfortunate because I think they'd look pretty. But I think we end up with air bubbles. But I've said before that, like, you know, I'd love to have a career in the arts, but I don't want to be a painter because I like painting too much. You've really gotten into 75mm minis. They're bigger and easier to detail. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Once you start working at a really small scale, like, yeah. No, I get that, yeah. Once you start working at a certain scale, it's just like, what do there's no more room for me to add more details. I mean, that is, I feel like there's different challenges presented with working at things at different scales, because I've said before, I think I've said on stream, that like, it takes a lot of time to make something really, really small, and it makes a lot of time to make something really, really big, but for completely different reasons. Like, it takes a lot of time to make something really, really big because you have a lot of material that you're working with that you need to move around. Like, if you're painting a mural, you know, painting a mural versus painting, you know, on a coin size or something like that. If you're painting a mural, you're going to have a lot of paint that you have to, you know, get moved into the right places. And that's going to take a lot of time because there's a lot of material that you're working with. But with, like, once you go really, really small, everything is noticeable. Like, every little tiny thing is visible. And so you have to be a lot more detail oriented, I think, with things that are really, really small, which also takes time. I don't know, I usually do paintings that are kind of, oh, well, thank you, though. That is very nice of you. Yeah, I have kind of my set times that I stream. There's a couple of dice, there's at least 3 of us I know of on Twitch that stream dice making. I have a friend. Let me find her channel. Where can I go to find that? Let's see here. Because I never remember how to spell her account name. Let me just go down. Oh, this is not going to work out well. I'm realizing that scrolling through my followers list might not be the way to do this. Oh, no, actually, wait. I am actually back down to the down to the bottom. Okay, here, just a second. I'm gonna recommend a different dice maker streamer too. Let me see if can I add someone even if they're not in the. I guess maybe I can't. I don't know if I can add them. Maybe not. I don't know. But Scryer also does dice making streaming. So if you're looking for more dice makers to follow, there's another one too. Just trying to grab a few different things here. I'll just spread the love, I guess. Add that to there, I think. I'll add some of these smaller pieces elsewhere. Let's see here. I could probably do one of these flowers in the D2 because it's flat enough. Although in the D2, I think I want to. So, like I was saying before, the plan for these is these are blanks, so they don't have numbers in them. And I'm going to do a dark blue resin kind of swirled with a bunch of plants. And then I'm going to put those once they're cured into the actual dice molds with some like white swirling mist around them because I'm going for kind of an earth sort of theme. But with the D2, I don't really have like an insert for it. I was just planning on doing a layer and then doing the white over top. So I definitely want things to be flat in there so that I can put that layer over the top. Ah, cool. You know, I really need to figure out, so I've been having problems with my chat, not the people in it, but like it working with Streamlabs. Like my commands aren't working and the chat's not showing up in the let me try adding the chat box again. Yeah, it's just not even showing up on Streamlabs. Normally that black, rectangle off to the side would show the chat, but to be fair, I guess maybe I have Streamlabs set up kind of janky, so that might be on me. That might be on me, but I wish it would just work for me. I don't know. Yeah, I need to figure that out. Maybe just like two things. Just a leaf and a flower, and then it's gonna have that dark blue in there. I think that'll probably work. Just kind of those, because they're gonna be kind of mixed in anyways. I just don't want them to be too tall. I just worry that they'll be too tall. I guess we'll see. If I need to, I can always redo the D2 or just end up with the set not having a D2 or something, but yes, D4. The D4 is kinda small. I think we could just do a flower in this one maybe. I think that might be the best choice. There's not really a lot of room in the D4 one. So I'm thinking maybe just one of those flowers. Let's see here. But the other ones, we'll get some other things in there. I'm thinking, let me think about how I want to do this. The plants will probably float to the surface. I feel like that's how it usually goes. I was going to do kind of like an opaque dark blue if I can. And then have kind of the flowers coming up out of that. So I think I want to do the opaque dark blue first. And then do the clear that I was planning on doing with the plants in it. Should I add a little bit of shimmer to that? Maybe I'll add a little, nah. It's like, should I add glitter or something? Nah, it's fine. I think, but just clear. But, and then I'll do the clear with the plants on top of that. I still do it while it's still fairly liquidy. Maybe I'll flip the flower over in the D4 then. That doesn't really work as well. The D4 I might end up doing opposite and doing the clear first. I think it won't matter as much. Yeah, I think I might do that on the D4. All right, just deciding in the moment. The order of operations, as it were. Let's see here. Just figuring out what sort of plants do I want. There's some different leaves. Do a bunch of leaves in the D8, I think. Some other random little bits that I find. Maybe some more of this, whatever this is. This is also from a plant that has petals that I've stolen the petals from because they looked nicer than this part did. But I'll steal some of the little kind of spiky bits. The nice thing about doing this in layers is that I don't have to worry too much about things sticking out a little bit because they're going to have another layer anyways. So that's nice. That is nice. I think just grab a little tiny bit more for the D6. And I don't know if I'll end up using all of this stuff anyways, but I want there to be options. I think that'll be good. I think that's plenty. I'll put the rest of this stuff off to the side. I don't need a ton of this stuff in there. All right, let me set this off to the side and out of the way. I've just spilled it everywhere. Lovely. It's on my shelf with my other plants, but I did just spill the plants. So let me look at, I think my plan here is to do this dark translucent blue with some white. But actually, I might not want this blue. I might want, is it this blue? Just a second, let me look at my paint chips. I'm looking for, yeah, I think it is this blue. And this blue could work. I think I like the kind of navy. So the reason so this blue honestly is pretty much the same as this blue, but I trust this one with the resin more, which this works perfectly fine for coloring the resin, but I think it might be somewhat water-based. It's not an alcohol ink, it's a resin pigment, and so if I have a large amount of it, the resin doesn't cure very well, whereas this is an alcohol ink, and so it has less of a problem causing cure inhibition. So I think we're going to go with that one, actually. Yeah, that's the correct one. Hi! Yeah, how are you doing? We're I'm making some dice again. Second. Oh. Alright, I think I've got those. Oops. If I don't make everything fly everywhere. And we've got that. Oh, excellent. What am I doing today? I think I need to sand some things. To be fair, like, figuring out what days are my days off, it changes from week to week. Oh yeah, no, I am gonna have a nice, like, evening, though. Normally, I have, like, a board game night with friends, Saturday nights, which was part of the reason that I started doing, Minecraft, is because we were doing lunches instead because of scheduling stuff. And so I was streaming early, and I'm like, I don't wanna have to get up early and get res and stuff figured out. You have great news? What is your great news? But since we're not meeting up today, and we're not meeting up, you know, at noon like we had for a couple of weeks. Aha! Thanks. I see what your great news is. It's great news for me! Thank you for the continued support, though. I do appreciate it. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, we're not doing dinner tonight because people are out of town, but I am gonna meet up with a couple of folks on Minecraft tonight, and we're gonna hang out on there, so that'll be fun. You have to get creative now. I will admit, I did wonder if it was that, because I feel like every time you have a question for me, that's like, guess what? It's like, is it a new month? I think it's a new month. To be fair, at this point, I'm like, I don't know, like, I don't have a good concept of time. It's like, is it 3 years later? Who knows? I was talking to a friend the other night. I met up with a friend for coffee, just one-on-one. We actually had tea, but I met up with a friend that I hadn't talked to in a while just because, you know, it's been so long since being able to see people. But, and also her 2-year-old is now a 4-year-old, which is crazy to me. But, she said that, like, she likes the fact that, like, even if we don't talk for a long period of time, we can get back together again and it's just like nothing has changed. And I was like, I have no object permanence and no sense of time. We could talk, it could be 3 years, and then we see each other again and I'm like, oh yes, I haven't seen this friend in a week. Like, it's part of it is just that, like, I don't have a concept of how long it has been. To be fair, I had a different friend in college, and when I left university to come back and work, we were both just like, we're probably not going to talk again. This was my best friend at school, too, and it was just one of those things where, like, we both knew that we were really bad at reaching out to people, and so it wasn't, like, any, like, ill intent or anything, or, like, and neither of us were, like, blaming each other for it or anything. It was just one of those moments where it's just like, we're both really bad at reaching out to people, so, like, you're awesome, but I don't know how much we're gonna talk. And I don't know, there's something about that sort of understanding each other that's kind of nice now too. Like, even if we haven't, you know, talked in, how long has it been? Should just reach out now. To be fair, I did actually chat with her somewhat recently, but she's been busy. I think she was moving. I think she'd just gotten a dog. She had a boyfriend I didn't know about. Okay, so let me get my making some dirt here. This is cinnamon for a nice dark brown color. Yeah, I did actually reach out not too long ago. Oh, you know, I might want to, when we were getting the Minecraft server figured out, I was like, hey, you want to join a Minecraft server? One of your old friends from college just moved back from Colorado. Oh, cool. How long has it been since you've seen them or talked to them? I really am bad at like reaching out to people though. Like I am not the person to text first. I really am not. 2019. Oh gosh. So a little while for your birthday. Just a little bit of time since you've chatted. I'm also like, to be fair, I always feel awkward talking with people one-on-one too. Like, to be fair, it was perfectly lovely meeting up with a friend of mine for coffee the other day, and I think part of that is because we're familiar enough we've known each other since 4th grade. Like, we've known each other for a long time, and there's periods there where we grew apart and grew back together and that sort of stuff, but we've known each other for a long time. And we know each other well enough for, if like the conversation is like feels awkward or something, one of us will just say that the conversation feels awkward, and we're just like, yeah, like I'm not worried about trying to be presentable, I guess. But man, like talking with people one-on-one that I don't already know super well is just like nerve-wracking for me, I guess. And part of it's just because like I feel the need to entertain. Like if I'm talking with someone one-on-one, I always feel like I need to keep them entertained. It's just like, oh yes, this is my job. I must make sure that this person is happy at all times. And that's kind of the same with streaming a little bit, where your brain has to stay on all the time because you're trying to like kind of stay focused. I feel like on being friendly and presentable and holding a conversation. Maybe some people don't have a problem with just can just naturally hold conversations and stuff, but I always feel like I need to like be on my best behavior if it's with someone I don't know very well. But like with a group of people, like some of the pressure's off there because it's like, okay, there's other people here, they can entertain for a bit. It's not my job. Oh, that's plenty. I just need a little tiny bit. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't need more than that. Little tiny bit. That's probably more than enough. And like, it's fine. Like I don't really mind. It's like being a host too. Like I'm fine with that. It just takes energy to do. It's like doing it for a long period of time is just like exhausting. And that's really why streaming, like at first, like a long period of time can be really tiring. I really like streaming. Like I think of it as just like, hanging out and chatting with friends type thing. I think that's the fun of streaming, is it's kind of more one-on-one. I don't think I'd ever want to be a big streamer, just because like the chat would move too fast. I feel like, to be fair, I sometimes will watch streams from like bigger streamers because there's again like kind of less pressure to hold a conversation. Like if I want something on in the background, usually I'll go for someone where the chat's moving too fast for me to read it, because it doesn't feel like I need to interact. But I feel like one of the nice things about streams is just being able to talk to people while they work on things or they do stuff. Let's see, I think. So I have a quick question for you guys. I have a little sword, a little rainbow sword here. I'm debating whether I should put it, which which keychain shape should I put it in? Should I do it in the skinny rectangle where I think it might be a little bit more visible, or should I do it in the crystal, which is maybe a little bit more exciting? I'm thinking the crystal because I don't know how it fits in there, so I could do it in there. Although it might be, does it have more room? It might fit in the crystal better. No, it fits in them both about the same. So maybe I want a different shape, actually. Do I have a square? Just a second. Let's see what shapes I have here. There's a cat hair in this one. There's your added cat hair. Free cat hair with every purchase. Maybe I should do like a cube. Maybe I should do like a cube because it fits better in this one. But I have a slightly smaller cube. Does it fit even better in this one? Just trying to figure out which one. Maybe the cube. The cube. Ah, there's a piece of resin in this one. There's also cat hair in here, but this is the problem. The problem with silicone, everything clings to it. Especially cat hair. I don't particularly want so much cat hair in there. I'll probably take a piece of tape to that. Maybe that one though. Maybe that one. Ooh, although this shape could be cool. That might be cool. I mean, it would end up kind of like that. I think I like the cube better. I think I like the cube, although this one is kind of cool. I don't know, I'll leave those two out. I don't think it fits in that one very well, and it honestly doesn't fit in the crystal very well. It's just a little bit too big. The sword is. The pommels are, no wait, the guard. Pommel's the back part, right? What's the handguard part of a sword called? Sir, what's the word for that? I can't think of what the word for that is. I'm sure there's a word for it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But that part's just a little bit too wide for those other ones. I'm thinking maybe the square. I'm thinking maybe the square one. And then making it not like a super tall keychain. Just a little bit above the sword. I think I'm gonna go with that unless other people think this one would work better. I'm open to suggestions here. So that'll be that. Those are all going in with clear. Yep, this is all clear. All clear. All right, let me just double check that I have everything, because I think that's actually everything. I'm doing kind of like fewer things this time just because I want to have enough resin to actually finish this. This has been sitting here for far too long, and I honestly want to see how it looks. I want to see how it looks. Should I add some foil? I don't know that it'll. You know what? I might as well. So I think I have an idea. I think I'm gonna actually end up doming it with clear resin. To make it like smooth on the bottom. So I think I will just add a little bit of the foil in here. Might as well. Doesn't hurt anything. There's just a little bit of foil in the layer that's down. just to add a little bit of something magical in there. Something a little bit interesting in the dirt. Yeah, we're going for kind of a fey, magical, kind of dark vibe. And I had an idea last night. I was just thinking about this tray. And I was thinking it could be cool. Because we want it to be, you know, magical and whimsical, but also maybe a little bit, like, if you look at it closer, there's something a little bit dark about it. I was thinking last night, so I'll probably, you know, end up doing a layer, and then it will kind of have a meniscus a little bit, so it'll be up at the sides. And so then I'll probably do another layer to dome it. And I was thinking, okay, I might want to do a layer of clear for the dome. And then I was thinking I could add some of the little tiny animal bones. Oh, not the meniscus debate again. I'm not talking about my knee. Or is it your knee that has a meniscus? Anyways. But I was thinking I could add some of the little tiny animal bones that I have into that clear resin, so that there's just little tiny animal bones kind of sticking, like, that are visible on the bottom. And I was thinking that could be kind of cool. So I'm thinking I might do that, because it's not going to be super obvious that there's clear there, just because I'm just going to dome it with the clear. But I think having some of those little animal bones in the bottom could be kind of cool. Could be kind of cool. So we're going to have that. I think I have everything. Yeah. Let me get some of my tea drunk before I get my safety equipment on. You can see my tea-stained mug here. That's how much tea I've been... To be fair, like, when it comes to tea, I'll usually just have, like, a mug that I use for, like, a week. It's just the mug that I have my tea in. And then I'll go and, you know, put it in the dishwasher. But, I don't know, because when it's just tea, you get, like, tea stains and stuff on the sides, but it doesn't really get gross. It just kind of gets discolored. So, you know, don't leave, like, I don't know, super sugary things that are going to get moldy in there. It's just tea. Who just texted me? Oh. Amusingly, Scryer, who I mentioned earlier. Alright, so we're gonna put on some safety. It turns dark brown because... Get out! No. Sorry, I had the sudden urge to make dissing tea a bannable offense. No. Each their own. To be fair, I do also like coffee and cocoa and stuff. I can't really do hot cocoa because it gives me a terrible upset stomach, which makes me very sad because I love hot cocoa. Oh gosh, this again too. Yeah. Do you like, here's a question for you though, do you like coffee? How did this get flipped around? Like, do you enjoy other hot drinks? Do you like hot cocoa or coffee? Because, I mean, both of those are just, you know, bean water, to be honest. Or I guess hot cocoa could be bean milk. Because, I mean, it's, you know, cocoa beans and sugar and coffee beans. Like, You know, sometimes I just want it to taste like I'm drinking some sort of flower out of my garden, okay? Alright. But also, hello, Game Master's Vault. I'm glad you can join us. Let me get my mask on. So, yeah, I'm going to be a little bit muffled for the rest of the stream. Just because better safe than sorry. I want to protect my lungs from the resin. Figure it's probably not good for me to be breathing in a ton of resin over time. I probably still do anyways, because I'm not the most careful with this room, but, you know,
protected a bit. Let me grab my resin here. So I am going to be going quiet for just a minute here while I pour resin, because I can't pour and talk at the same time unless we want to mess. As much as you may want to mess, I don't want to mess more than I already have. So let me get this poured, and then I'll be right back. All right. There's the actual resin, which I'm making a mess with anyways. And then we have our hardener. Let me get that poured as well. All right. And there's that. And now we just get to stir for a long time. Now, I drink a lot of tea. I drink a lot of tea. It's also one of those things that, like, I end up with gifted a lot. Like, I'm the tea lady to a certain extent. Like, you know, for Christmas and stuff, people will get me tea. I have so much tea. I got to get through it all now, but no, I like tea a lot. Like I said, I can't really do hot cocoa. I will sometimes do hot cocoa, but like I'll have it in the middle of the day and with other food usually. I have a very wonky stomach, but hot cocoa will give me a terrible upset stomach, especially if I drink it right before bed. If I drink it, that's like something that I know I can't have before going to bed. If I have hot cocoa before bed, I will wake up with the worst stomachache imaginable. Like, I don't know if it's the chocolate or the sugar or what, but it's terrible. And then, like, I do like coffee, but I feel like it's even more tanniny than tea. Like, it has even more of that bitterness to it. Which, to be fair, like, I like both my tea and my coffee with cream in them, just because it cuts down on the tannins, which make them both really bitter. That was something I kind of realized at one point. I saw a thing that was talking about how why certain meats were paired with certain wines. And usually you have like red wine with like fatty meats, so like beef and stuff. And then you'll have white wines with like less fatty meats. And it was because the fats in the meats will bind with the tannins in the wine and make them have less tannins, which, you know, make things bitter. So like a really tanniny wine is going to taste better with fatty meats because it gets rid of some of those tannins. And apparently some people can taste tannins and some people can't too. So that's part of the reason some people can love wine and they're like, oh, it has this flavor, and someone else tastes it and it's just like, this just tastes bitter to me. But I was reading that thing about wine and I knew that both tea and coffee had tannins in them. And actually, if you let your tea or your coffee get cold, those will actually build too, which is why if you brew yourself a cup of tea and then you let it sit until it gets cold and you taste it, it tastes gross. It gets like super bitter over time as it cools. But it made me realize that like adding cream to coffee legitimately makes it less bitter because it's binding with the tannins in there. And that's why like the low fat creams and stuff don't work as well. Like I knew someone who put like almond milk in their coffee and they're like, it just isn't the same. And it's like, it makes sense that it isn't the same because there's not as many of the fats in there, and they're not binding with the tannins like the actual dairy cream would, because it has all of those fats that are cutting down on the bitterness by getting rid of those. Anyways, yeah, so I do really like having like cream in my tea and my coffee, but at the same time, like, I can't be bothered to put cream in my tea all the time. And there's certain teas that like that are better with cream than others. I feel like if I'm gonna have chai, like, it has to have milk or cream or something in it. Like, that's just the way things are done when it comes to chai. But I don't know. There's a lot of different kinds of tea and stuff out there. And like, I also like hated green tea for a long time. I'm like, it's so bitter. I cannot stand green tea. And then I actually read a thing talking about how like you're not supposed to steep green tea with boiling water because it burns it and makes it super bitter. And I'm like, oh, that explains a lot. That would explain why my green tea is always bitter. It's because I've been preparing it wrong and burning it. You're supposed to do it at a lower temperature. So now that I know that, it's like much better. It tastes much better now that I know how to, that I was doing it wrong. But man, yeah, hot cocoa. I wish I didn't have as much of a wonky stomach as I do. Like, I don't know, my stomach's weird. I've gotten to the point though where like I know what I can and can't eat. To like, because I like, there's certain foods that like, I don't know, there's certain days where I can tell that if I eat a certain selection of foods, I'm gonna have a terrible time and have a terrible upset stomach. And then there's, other days where I'm just like, yeah, I feel like I could eat that. Like, I don't know, it varies from day to day what I can eat to a certain extent. So there's some foods that I just can't do at all, but there's some days where I'm just like, yeah, I feel well enough. That's something I've just, like, I realized recently is like, there's a lot of days where I just feel mildly nauseous or something. It's basically like, there's days where I just wake up and I'm just like, I cannot do any sort of fatty food today. Like, but to be fair, it's a lot of foods that are very fatty will give me an upset stomach, but like things that have a ton of cheese, pizza's terrible, but I don't know. There's certain foods that like everyone else complains about, like sending them to the bathroom and stuff, and those don't bother me. Like coffee, I can do coffee just fine. Doesn't upset my stomach at all. Taco Bell, I love Taco Bell. Doesn't do anything to me. But anyways, moving on from my gut issues. I am almost done stirring this. I'm just making sure that there's none of part A or part B still in there. So I'm scraping the sides, scraping the bottom, and I can tell if there's some of one of the, if they're not mixed completely, if I can kind of see like a light bouncing off of a section in there. Because there's kind of like, you kind of get like a cracked glass effect if there's part A and part B sitting next to each other instead of mixed together completely. Also, it's gotten nice and clear now, and it's definitely very like cloudy while it's still being mixed. I just want to make sure that I don't have any of one of the parts stuck to the sides or my stir stick or anything. So I'm just checking here. It's looking good. It's looking good. Let me scrape this one more time. I think we're good. I think we're good. Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I don't think I see any streaks in there, so I think we're good. Let me just do these real quick. This is these are a couple of ones that had little air bubbles in them that I want to fix. bit of that. A bit over here. And then I think let's do the ones over here that just are taking clear resin. Might as well get those out of the way, and they're ones that I want to get done anyways because they're for mission. So let me get these. Let me add a little bit to our D20 here that has a blank that's going to go into it. And I'm going to squish this around because I don't want like oh, you know what I should do? I should just dip the insert in the resin. That's probably a good idea. Let's do that. I'm going to just dip this in the clear resin. And that will hopefully help prevent like air bubbles where there's like no resin in one spot. So I think I want this side to be up. Alright. Some resin on my gloves. Alright, cool. I've got extra resin here. I'll put on the lid. Alright, let me set this off to the side and let, air bubbles rise to the surface and stuff. Here, I'll actually grab my little tray here that I put things into the pressure pot on. Alright, and we're going to do the same thing with the D10 here. It has little diamond ore. Doesn't want to focus. It has little diamond ore things that I painted on there. Put a little bit in. And I'm going to dip it again because I think that worked well. Or we'll see how it works, but I'm thinking this is going to help prevent air bubbles in the numbers, because that is an issue that I've run into, is where they're like in this circle part of the 9, it never got any resin in it, and so it just never actually shows up. Alright, there's that. Put those up to the side. Got a couple of D4s here. I'm going to add clear too. Alright. Come on. Alright, there's those. And then I want to add a little bit to this one. I actually don't want to fill this up all the way. I just want this to be about halfway. Because I'm going to be painting on this. That might have been too much resin. Oops. Did I just pick this up by the... Man, I just might have picked this up by the wrong side. But I guess everything is covered in resin now because I went and dipped those things and my hands are a mess. Just a second. Let me wipe my hands off on a rag over here since I've gotten so much resin on them. So I can make them a little bit less sticky. This is why I get all my powdered pigments into the cups before I start, is because otherwise I'm just going to, get them filled with all sorts of resin and things. Alright, I just want enough to kind of cover the symbol there. I think that'll be good. Set that off to the side. Alright, let's see here. I'll just grab a little tiny bit for this keychain. Just a little bit. Alright. Doesn't actually take very much to fill those. And then I think, I didn't actually think about how much resin I wanted for the the earth dice over here. So the earth dice, I'm going to be adding some dark blue resin and some clear resin. And I think I want about 50-50 of those two. I want it to appear about 50-50. And so after that, I think I actually want closer to 1/3 of it to be the dark blue. Because since it's going to be opaque, it's going to be a lot more visible than the clear. So I think I only want about 10 milliliters of the blue, if that. Maybe even more, like 7.5, but because I want it's going to be visible because it's going to be opaque and the other part's going to be, you know, transparent. So you can see the blue through the transparent, but you can't see the transparent through the blue. So let's try and get a nice dark blue color. So I have translucent pigments, except for my white. I actually have a black that's opaque as well. So I'm going to add a couple drops of white, which is going to make this opaque, but it's also going to make it a lighter color. So we'll see how much pigment I need to add to get it to a dark blue while also mixing it with white. It's a balancing act here. I guess I could have done a powdered pigment. I guess I could still do that. I don't need it to be like dark though. It's honestly not bad. It's not a bad blue. It's not actually too light. Kind of worried there. Apparently my worry was for naught, because it seems to be a fine blue color. I might add like one more drop to make it a little bit darker, but honestly it's not bad. I'm thinking, so this is not going to have any glitter in it, but I'm thinking maybe the white clouds that I'm going to put around these, I'm thinking maybe doing those with a little bit of shimmer. I feel like that could be kind of cool. Do these just kind of, you know, I don't know what to call it when it's not going to be matte, because it is going to be shiny, but it's not going to be glittery or shimmery. I don't know what to call that in between. That in between sort of, not color, but where it's not shimmery, but it's not matte. It's opaque, but it's, I don't know. It's not glittery at all. I don't think I'd call it that. No, I don't think that's going to be what I call it. just a hunch that that's not what I'm going to call it. All right, I think that's pretty good blue. It's kind of an ocean blue, is what I was going for. So yeah, somehow I don't think that's what I'm going with. And a little bit of, let go. So I'm going to add a little bit of blue here. I'm just adding a little bit to to the D2 here, and then I'm going to fill the rest with clear. And actually, I think I want to pick up those plants and, oops, I didn't want that to be full. That's my problem. That's what I was forgetting. Just a moment here. I don't want this to be full, actually. I only want this to be half full. There's some air bubbles here too. Let me get rid of some of this. I want it to be down far enough that I can add the clear clouds above it in the D2. We'll see how well that works. It may or may not work. It's possible I've added too much resin and that the plants will get in the way. All right. Well, we'll try it. We'll try it and see how it goes. For these ones, I think I'm going to add the blue, and then I'm going to dip the plants in the clear and add them on top of the blue. And I do actually kind of want the blue to kind of swirl in a little bit, so we're going to do that now before things get really thick. So let's add, we're gonna add some blue to all of these. About a third blue. So I want it to kind of be, you know, I don't want it to just be half and half. So I could make it pretty much half and half if I wanted to by just waiting until the resin's a little bit thicker. So it'd be harder for the resin to move around in there. But I don't really want it half and half. I want it kind of swirled together a little bit. The D4 actually I'm going to do backwards because I think the D4 will work better backwards. So the D4 I'm actually going to add a little bit of clear. Add a little bit of clear. And then do some blue over the top of that. But so let me just do that one now, I think. And that's just because how that plant is, but I think that might be okay. But yeah, let's get the blue into all of these. I think there's actually enough in the D20. Where did that go? Oh well. And I'm not trying to be particularly clean or anything about it. It's a little bit messy going in, and that's fine. And I don't think I'm actually going to use all of this blue. Oops, that just fell in there. Found it. Aha! I knew that was somewhere. So that's fine. We have a little bit of extra blue, which I think we can use somewhere else. And then let's start adding our plants. And it's not, well, actually let's do this one first, I think. Ooh, I am just realizing that I have blue on these, and I'm dipping them in there. That's not what I want. I was going to say the blue is not important, but I don't want the blue in my clear. Also don't, to be fair, it's not too big of a deal because I've gotten everything. It's going to be mixed with so much brown that you're not even going to see that little bit of blue. But I don't need to add more blue. Alright. Just kind of dipping things and then putting them in. Just because I don't want a whole bunch of air trapped in them. So I'm trying to kind of get some of the air out before I even put them into the molds. And also this will kind of, it'll start kind of like resting on top of the blue a little bit, but also because I don't have a whole bunch of, you know, clear resin there, it's going to get kind of mixed in with the blue a little bit, which is honestly what I'm going for. I don't want it mixed in with the blue just a little bit. But I am expecting these to kind of float. So we're getting just one more leaf here. That's good. And I'll set these off to the side for air to rise to the surface, because there's probably going to be air trapped underneath some of those plants anyways. So let's set it off to the side and give it a chance for some of the air to find its way out. And I'm going to just repeat this process down the line. Repeat it down the line. Nothing these turn out. We'll see how it looks. It's a little bit of an experiment, just because I don't know. I feel like I have an idea of how it might look, but I don't know if it's actually going to end up looking like I expect it to. Air bubble on that one. Look out, air bubble. But again, this is just the first layer too. There's going to be a second layer in these dice that it's going to add a little bit of a dimension here as well. That's clear. I'll set this up to the side. And I expect the plants to float a bit, which is good, I think. I think that'll actually work better because it'll help you know, I worry that the blue resin is going to, what am I trying to say? I want the plants to be visible, and so I worry that the blue resin is going to get in their way or something, but I think if the plants float in the clear resin, they're definitely going to be further away from the blue, which is good in this case. It's good. I don't know if that plant's going to go in there. Which is fine. There's a leaf here I don't think I'm going to include. It's just a little bit too much, I think. There's definitely an air bubble in here that's coming up. It's coming up, air bubbles. Put that off to the side. Yeah, there's definitely air bubbles in some of these. Yeah. So has anybody been working on any fun craft projects recently? I finally started making getting the chains and the cords and stuff figured out for the necklaces that I've been kind of working on. Finally started getting those done yesterday. I really should have made molds yesterday, but I did not feel like it at all. Instead, I went and got some new medium for my polishing tumblers for the dice, because like it gets gross after a while. So I polish my dice in a tumbler, like a polishing tumbler. I actually have 3 of them. It's very loud. That's why I have ear protection over here. But I polish my dice that way because I'm really bad at polishing dice. Some people are really good at doing it by hand. I am not, and it does a better job than I do. But the medium in it, so it uses like little hardwood cubes. The medium in it gets gross after a while because it gets completely like soaked with polish and some of the grime from sanding the dice, because I do sand them before I put them in, but it gets all of that stuff just kind of like attached to the little wood chips in there. So I went and ordered some more. I am wondering if I can clean it somehow. I'm wondering if I could go like wash it out and reuse it, but I don't know. I really should try that. But I went and completely refreshed a couple of the tumblers last night and put new wood chips in there and new polish and stuff. I don't know why I still have the D4 sitting here. It's actually done. Oh, wait, I think I know why. It's just some of the there's nothing there. Moving on to the D6. I feel like we'll be able to kind of see in the D6 a little bit better how things might turn out. The D6 is just one of the easiest dice I feel like to see into. Let's see if we can kind of see where things are going. On here, finish adding resin here. Yeah, here, let's see if I can show you here. Alright, so there's flowers in there. You can kind of see the blue a little bit. Might be easier. I was going to grab the webcam, but I don't need all that resin everywhere. There we go. Yeah, I can kind of see it. I'm suddenly reminded of someone gave me a recommendation for a camera that's supposed to be really good for close-ups. And they recommend it was fun. So it was one of those moments where it's just like, okay, obviously your camera is not working great for close-ups. Here's a recommendation for a camera that is good at close-ups, and they recommended me the one that I have. It was just kind of funny. Just like, I appreciate your attempted help, but hate to break this to you. It's literally the exact same camera that I have. A little bit of this. Alright, let me spritz these down again. And I'm just spritzing the dice over here down with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. It helps break the surface tension. Helps break the surface tension on the dice. Helps the air bubbles pop. Supposedly, anyways. Still got air bubbles hanging out there. Alright, we've got that. A little bit of blue left over. Let me get these fixed. I might not even put the lids back on these. I might be able to just fill in the corners and call it good. And I'll just sand them down later, you know. A little bit of extra there, but because, you know, make sure air bubbles and stuff, but I think that's probably good. I don't think I even need to put the lid back on this. It's over in the corner. I think it's gonna, yeah. Same with this one. Same with this one. I'm just going to fill in the corner here. That'll be a little bit too white, actually. Let me add a little bit more resin to this because that's honestly a little bit too opaque. I don't think it matches. I think I'm using the correct white, but no, I'm not sure. And maybe I'm using the wrong white, but I do think there's an air bubble in there, but I think some of that'll get fixed once I put it in the pressure pot. But I do want, you know, a little bit of extra resin here around it so that it can get sucked up into that space. Alright, got a little bit of extra resin there. Let me pour this keychain here. This is just clear resin with a little bit of holographic glitter in it. Because I think that's kind of fun. It'll match one of the, I have one of the dice. This is for a commission. One of the dice has a rainbow sword in it and has rainbow holographic glitter in it as well. So we're just gonna match that. I try and avoid the sides at the top here because the sides at the top here have some cat hair. Alright. I think that's, oops, there's definitely an air bubble in there. I'm just going to try and get some of the little cat hairs. There's the cat hair. Alright, I think I got it. Wipe that off. Let me just add a couple more drops here, I think. I want it to be like enough above the sword that the sword is visible, but not so much above the sword that the sword looks out of place. There's quite a few air bubbles in here. We'll give those, you know, a moment to rise to the surface, but you know, I have it a little bit higher. I don't know if you can see where you can kind of see the resin in there. I have it a little ways above the sword, but we're gonna, you know, add a little bit more resin with the thing we use to attach it. So We should be good. How much resin do we have left? 60. You know, I think let's do. I was gonna do this and I forgot. Let's do a set of fate dice. Let's do like an asteroid belt set of fate dice. Yeah, let's do like an asteroid belt set of fate dice. And I was thinking, let's use like some black foil, I think, and maybe some like shimmering pigment, and maybe some like, here's some of this. I think that'll be pretty. Just give me just a second. I'm gonna take my gloves off so we can get those pigments done, and I think I'm just gonna toss these gloves because they are a mess. We will grab new gloves for doing more. Normally I try to do this stuff beforehand, and I just completely forgot. That's why I brought my calendar downstairs and everything. So let me just grab some black foil. Ooh, that's too much. I thought I had a lot of resin there. Why do I have so much resin? And then I remembered there was something else I was going to make. I knew I was forgetting something. I'm always forgetting something. At least it always feels like I'm forgetting something. Alright, there's those. And then do a little bit of the phthalo blue and a little bit of the graphite, which is very, very sparkly, which I like. I like how sparkly it is. And I'm just going to grab clean mixing cups because now I'm on a little bit of a time crunch since I've already got my resin mixed. That's really why I try to do all this beforehand, is because once the resin's mixed, I have a time limit. So let's put those. I also have my glasses on. Here's some phthalo blue. I really like it. It's kind of a very purpley sort of blue. It's a pretty blue color. I'd use it for everything probably if I could. Like, I don't know, I really like this blue color. And so it probably looks more blue on camera, but it's kind of a purple toned blue. And then let's do our black, our glittery silvery one. I wonder if should I add some sort of ink as well? So the plan here is just to have those kind of swirled through. And then I was thinking maybe we should do like a nice purple or a nice, I don't know, like a dark green or something. Should we do like a dark green ink in there too a little bit? Or I could pick a random purple that I don't know what color it actually is. We could throw a little bit of that in there. Why not? Let's do that. I'm just going to grab a random purple. We'll see how it looks. The thing with my purple pigments is that they don't necessarily end up looking the same way that they look in the bottle. And that's why I have my paint chips, that I have like little test chips of resin that I've mixed all of my different colors into to see how they look. That's why. So let's do, so it takes about 20 milliliters for this, maybe a little bit less. Let's do about 10. I'm trying to avoid getting any of those plant bits in here. Forgot that I was doing these. Where am I at? It's probably closer to 5. I'm close, fairly close to 10. Okay, cool. Let me flip this around so I can actually see what I'm doing. there's 10 of that. And then we'll do about 5 of the other 2. Doesn't even need to be quite 5. It really doesn't take 20. It takes a little bit less than 20. Closer to probably 17, something like that. So we'll do almost 5 of these. Oh, you know, I could use some of that blue, I suppose. But I've been wanting to use that black foil dye. I've seen some, you know, it might be cool to do some of that black foil with like some flowers at some point. That could be cool. All right, and then the rest of our resin can go towards the tray. Good. All right. Just mix this up. Pretty blue color. Mix this up. Pretty shimmery color. Shimmery color. Yes, my favorite color, shimmer. It's like a gray. I might do a drop of black in here, actually. I feel like this one looks good with a little bit of black. Ooh, if I can get the lid off of this. There we go. All the pigment likes to cake up on my alcohol inks. There we go. Let's drop the black. That. Kind of black shimmery now. That's what I wanted. Ooh, I could do the drop of purple in here, actually. Could do the purple in with the black. I like that. Let's do some purple in here with this. It's going to be more, I think this is more of a pink color, but that's okay. I hear a cat outside my door. Now it's like a pinkish sort of shimmery color. Kind of faintly purple. Yeah, I think that'll be good. And then we have our black over here. Well, it's clear with our black foil in it. I'm actually going to go ahead and add our clear with our black foil up to about halfway. And this was actually an idea. I'm not completely winging this, but I did have an idea for dice with some of the black foil and then like some sort of color or something in there kind of mixed in for the asteroid field. I don't know, I can't talk. And a little bit of our blue. Oh, there's a cat upstairs chasing around some sort of something that's cookie. That's what I'm hearing. Honestly, I think that's probably good. Hopefully I have enough of this left over. Fill in the rest. Yep, I think I do. Cool, I think that's gonna look good. I just realized that there was an email I was going to send last night, and I did not. I need to do that. I'll do that when I'm done. Got distracted working on other things, which is about normal for me. I have another commission that I'll probably be working on Wednesday's stream. Cool. All right, that's all done. A little bit of leftover of those colors, which works out just fine. Spritz those down, get the air bubbles popped. Move some things over here. Alright, set that off the side. Alright, now we can go and mix our dirt. Mix up our dirt for this tray. And this has a few foresty bits in it, that's fine. That's fine, it can have some foresty bits. I'm going to leave a little tiny bit of clear in the mixing cup partially because I can't fit much more into the dirt mixing cup, and partially because then I have a little bit of extra for some of these ones sitting over here that I put clear in and that I want to make sure have enough resin. But let's mix up our dirt. I might need to add some more, maybe, we'll see. Hopefully it's opaque enough is kind of what I'm saying. I want it to actually, you know, look like dirt and not just like really grainy. I don't know. I want it a little bit more opaque. I think we're good. I think we're good. It looks like it turned out fairly opaque. Still got our foil in there. Just a little bit of gold and copper and some kind of oxidized sort of looking colors in there. Excellent. Just make sure I got all this stuff off the bottom. Finally, I have enough resin. I've been, you know, meaning to like finish this tray, and like every time I end up with less resin than I think I will at the end, and I'm just like, okay, I guess we'll add another 20 milliliters. Whereas this time it's just like, yeah, 40 milliliters, good, finally. Enough to hopefully smooth out the bottom of the tray for the most part. Might still need a little bit more, but I'm gonna add at least one more layer anyways to dome it. So, all right, let's try and get this all smoothed out and see how it looks. It might not actually coat everything I need it to. We'll see. But let's try and get it kind of flat. Get it along all the sides and everything. And it will kind of start leveling itself a little bit, but it's hard for it to level itself if it can't get to all of the, into all of the nooks and crannies, so I'm going to help it along in that regard. Help it get into all the nooks and crannies. Well, it might be enough actually. The tallest point, I think, on this thing is actually a rock that's sticking out here. And that's not something I can cut down. So it has to be at least as tall as that rock. The resin on the bottom does. So that's kind of my benchmark. You know, the moss and stuff, if it's a little bit tall, I can get that cut down. And I can sand it off if I really need to. But that rock's not going anywhere, so we might need a little bit more resin. But we might be okay, actually. We might be okay to dome it after this. This might be enough. Let's see here. It's going to be kind of close. This side, let's get this filled in. Cool. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, I think that's going to work out well. I think it's going to be just fine. This might be the last layer that I actually need to do in the mold. That's really what I want to see how it looks. Okay, that's really what's going on. I just really want to see how this tray looks because I think it's going to be cool, but I don't know for certain. So I want to get it to a point where I can take it out of the mold, because for doming it, I'll probably take it out of the mold. It's probably going to be easier. Yep, I think this might be tall enough. Oh, there's some mushrooms here, I think, that aren't completely covered. Yeah, there's still little bits that are sticking out, but I'm going to dome it. So I think that'll be okay. Plus, we're getting up pretty much to the top here of the mold. Where did my spray bottle? Let me just spit this down. And I'm going to want to put this on this tray as well. All right. Let me get my tray figured out here. So I want to put a few things here that I want to get on this tray. Let me just set these off the side. Everything's kind of messy today. I've got resin everywhere. Alright, let's put that on there. Put this on here. And then I think we can start getting things kind of situated. I think, let me spritz everything down one more time, make sure everything has enough resin. I can see here, I can see some air bubbles in some of the ones with the plants. Let's see if I can get some of them out, some of the air bubbles out. Get them to rise to the surface. It's just like an air bubble that's just kind of attached to like a leaf in here and stuff. Get those at the top. Alright, some of these look perfect though. Alright. So let me put some lids, I think, on some of these ones that we've got looking good. Put one on the D8 here. This one looks good. Get it out of the way. Yeah, alright. I think I want to actually get the lid onto the asteroid belt one, even though we made those a little bit later. I want to get this lid on so that I can set other things on top of this. So we'll do that. Yeah, alright. Yeah, because I also want to start kind of wedging things in between each other. I think this one looks pretty good. I don't see too many air bubbles. This is a D20 with the insert in it. Yep, D20 with the insert in it. We'll put that on. I'm gonna kind of wedge the keychain in between it so it stays upright. Let's see here. What else do we have? Here's the D10 with the insert in it. It has a few air bubbles, but I think it'll be fine. This one might need something on top of it, actually. So we'll put it down here at the bottom. Let me spritz some of the earth ones again. Here's the D4 with the mushroom. It looks good. Again, maybe use something on top of it. We'll put it down at the bottom. Yeah, so I'm just going to kind of stack things. I'm going to try and kind of stack things over on this side of the tray. This D10's looking pretty good. I think it's this lid. I think it's this lid. We'll find out. Yes, it is this lid. Oh, good. Cool. So we've got these a little bits of leftover resin here. So we'll make some spare dice. I think we'll make a spare one of the fate dice. Not exactly like those ones, but you know, using some of the colors. I like making little extra dice because I like sending along extra dice when I ship orders. I think it's fun. Oh, that does remind me that I need to figure out a D4 to send with a commission, actually. I need to figure that out. I have a commission, and I don't actually have a D4 made for it. And I usually try to do a keychain in a D4 with the 8-piece commissions. So I should really figure that out. Let's see here. This D4. I have an idea for it. I just need to go actually execute it. That does remind me, though, that I need to do that, since those are already polishing. Let's see here. The D20's looking pretty good. A few air bubbles, but not a ton. Let's see here. Air bubbles on the top of this one. This one, few air bubbles here. Try to get rid of those. All right, got the bigger ones gone. Yeah, that's the thing when working with plants is like I feel like sometimes they just end up with air bubbles. Although I suppose these are blanks, so it's actually not as big of a deal if there's a gap at the top. we end up having like an air gap at the top, it's not going to be visible once I actually put them into the molds. So that's actually a little bit, that makes me feel a little bit safer. Still don't want, you know, huge air bubbles in here. A few air bubbles is fine, but not cat hair though. I don't need the cat hair in there. Alright. How do I want to stack these? Alright. Just figuring out how I'm going to stack all of these. I think maybe I could put another guy on here. There we go. I think that'll work. Let me just, that's at an angle. I don't want that. Got our spare die here. Let's fill this up with some of our leftover resin. Oh, and I actually still have some clear resin too. Forgot about that. And actually, I have a couple other, you know, things that I could use some of this resin for. We could do like a D20, just like a little bonus D20. I think that'd be cool with maybe some of the blues. I think that'd be pretty with some of the blues. But I wanted to use a little bit of the phthalo blue in here. Do this. I also have this mold over here that I'm using to make a piece to then make keycaps. So I might fill that with like just some of the clear resin or something. Just fill that with some clear. See if we can finish this up today. I've been doing it just with like leftover spare resin and stuff as I go. I might as well just finish it up if I can. There we go. That looks done to me. Stack that. I'm just gonna have a whole pile of things. That's when I'm done here. All right. I'll add the red here. Get rid of this. That dark red might actually be kind of cool for. I have a commission that I said I'm going to be working on Wednesday. And this dark red might actually work really well for part of it. I might suggest this. Okay. I'll finish off our shimmer. I think this will be just the right amount, actually. Just enough. Alright, there's another one that's empty. Let me spritz that down too because I can see some air bubbles on top. There we go. And then let's do a D20. Here, I'm gonna do a drop of clear. I'm gonna do a drop of white. Oops, I did 2 drops of white, but that's okay. And then let's pour some more clear on, actually, I'm gonna pour the blue on top of that, I think. That might have an interesting effect. We're going to try it. And then I'm going to add some phthalo blue on top of that. I think I'm going to kind of try and mix the phthalo in with the other non-shimmering blue. Kind of mix them together a bit. Oh, I also have some clear with a little bit of sparkle in it. You know what? I'm just going to put the rest of the clear in here with this clear that just has a little bit of glitter in it. Because there's not that much clear left. I might as well. Alright. Get that. I think that's enough of that clear resin. And then should I do some clear? Let's finish off our phthalo blue. Let's just finish off our blue here. You know, I have a bunch of like, you know, just you know, spare D20s sitting in a container over here. I don't have a ton, but I have quite a few. And it's, you know, it's mostly like from, you know, either I had extra resin that I just, you know, threw into a D20 mold, or I had an idea for something and it didn't quite turn out. So I just, you know, just decided I'd have it as like a single D20 in my shop, something like that. And most of them are green. I have a ton of green D20s. So many green ones. It's like, why? Why do I have so many green D20s? So it'll be nice to have a blue one in there, honestly. It'd be nice to have a blue D20 in there for once, instead of a green one. It's not to say I don't have other, you know, I don't have other dice in there too, but it's just the majority of them are like so green. Why do I have so? I don't feel like I make that many green dice. Why do I have so many green D20s? All right, there we go. There's another D20. Spritz that. Pop some bubbles. And then I just have some white and some clear with sparkles in it left. Maybe use a drop of purple. That sounds nice. What kind of die should we do? I think maybe let's do a D10. Do a D10. I always use more D10s. Add some of the clear. Plus it takes a little bit less than a D20. I don't think we have enough here for a D20. Do a drop of the purple. I'll do some of the white. Just kind of mixing with the purple. It's more of a pink actually. It says grape on it, and it's supposed to be a purple. It's really more of like a purplish pink, I feel like. It's not really that purple. Alright. There's the white. And we'll go back to the clear. Still got a little bit of leftover of this clear. Oh, I think that might turn out interesting. I don't know how it's going to look, but could be cool. I still got a little bit of this sparkly clear. I'm gonna do another D2, another blank D2, but with the sparkly clear this time. Another half blank D2. Anyways, that's the goal here, because maybe I'll like that one better for the thing I'm working on with it. Maybe it'll work better. I don't know. We'll still have just a little tiny bit left. What should we put this in? We could put it in some sort of I'll put it into another fate die mold. It's not going to fill it up all the way, but we can add another layer later. I should do more layered dice. Like, I feel like, so it's just because they take a lot of, they take pre-planning and forethought, and I'm impatient, which is you know, I like doing dice that I could do all in one sitting. Even though, like, I feel like it's more rewarding when I do the more complex dice with, you know, little handmade inclusions and multiple layers and things, but I'm very lazy. But I don't know, layered dice usually turn out looking really cool. All right, let me just get the lids on these last few dice, and then we're gonna call it. Let me just do this. I will be back on Wednesday. Like I said, that'll be at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This was at noon Pacific Standard Time, just for a frame of reference. This really isn't the. Oh, actually, you know what? Some of these, I'm gonna put some of these into. I have a double-decker tray. I didn't want the tray to be on the double-decker part because I found that it's not perfectly flat, but these will do just fine. I don't need them to be perfectly flat, honestly. And these aren't going to have resin leaking out of them, so they can go down here. Same with this one. And then these ones I can spread out a little bit more. There we go. Actually, no, I don't want that to be overhanging that, but we can still spread things out a little bit more. All right. Now I've got a little bit more space. But yes, I will be back on Wednesday at 7 p.m. doing more dice stuff. Like I said, I have another commission that I'm going to start work on then, hopefully. That's what I need to send an email about, is some of the color options for that. But until then, take it easy, guys, and I'll hopefully see you then. But I'm gonna go get these into the pressure pot. I won't have photos of these tomorrow just because nothing's actually gonna be done tomorrow. But once I get the earth dice done, you can expect photos in the Discord. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.